Hello unicorns. So for today's handstands and happiness class, we are going to focus on gratitude, because when we have gratitude about our process, we can continue to move forward and keep moving towards our goals. So it's really important in our handstand practice to find this sense of gratitude for where we're at. So just take a minute to find, you can close your eyes and just think of three things or three moments, maybe in your life or in right now. I think right now is a really nice time to think about things that you're grateful for. Three things that have happened in your recent life that you are truly grateful for. So you can just close your eyes and just think of them. And then you can turn them into a movement. So we'll come back to these movements as a little creative exploration in our class today. So you can choose three things. So in our class today, we chose this because this is the pink moon that happened last night. And then this like collapsed pose for playing with pillows with children. And then a little strolling, can stroll with the arms or the legs, for going for a walk, but that's just an example. It can be any three movements that represent your three things that you're grateful for. So go ahead and create your movements, and then we will just head on over to our mats and get started. So we'll start out on our backs here, closing our eyes. You can just find any comfortable place for your legs and any comfortable place for your arms. Just really taking a minute to kind of get into your spine and just completely spread yourself out on the floor. And then just beginning to turn on our breath. And right away, just letting our breath start to deepen. Coming into that yogic state where we are fully connected with our breath. See if you can notice the entire length of the inhale. And the entire length of the exhale. Noticing the space in between the breath. The quiet space at the top. And the quiet space at the bottom of the breath. Just allowing this breath to be a cleansing breath, really cleansing for our lungs, really just finding that gratitude for our lungs and the ability to breathe. Right now it's become extra beautiful to have this ability. So just letting your lungs come to their fullest capacity on the inhale and letting them completely empty on the exhale. Really full expansive breaths. Every single little ounce of oxygen is a little thank you note to your lungs for this ability to breathe. And then exhaling out completely. Taking three more fullest breaths, the fullest breaths you've ever taken in your life, up to this moment. Taking a minute to really just resonate in that gratitude for these lungs that fill us with air. And then from that place of gratitude, we're going to share a breath of fire. So it's just a short, fast exhale. You guys have done it before. Just to really clean out our lungs and just revive them so that they know how grateful we are to have them. Taking an inhale to begin, and as we exhale, we'll just take short, fast exhales out of our nose. The inhale will happen naturally, and I'll count to 60 for us. Inhaling. Exhaling completely at the end, and then inhaling completely once again. If you noticed your nose was plugged and you want to get a tissue, you totally can. If you're okay, we'll just slowly start to circle through our fingers, starting to come into that gratitude for our hands, feeling these nerve endings in our fingers, just starting to move through the hands, opening them and closing them. So finding like the fullest range of expression in the hands. So like really imagine that you have never had fingers or wrists before and you really wanted to just see how these things moved. So you're just moving through your hands like, wow, what a cool thing I have, what a blessing, like so cool. This whole new experience of hands, maybe like finding some new ways to move them, see how they can move together, maybe matching the wrists and coming into some wrist floreos, opening up through the wrists and the hands and the fingers, really moving from that space of gratitude for this body and this ability to move. And then interlacing the fingers together and pushing the palms up towards the sky, just stretching through the hands, finding this awakening in the palms and just feeling the edges of your nerves. And then opening the hands out to the sides, expanding through the chest, and then taking the legs up into the sky. So finding our nerve endings on the other end. So just coming into your toes in that exact same space of gratitude, just noticing the toes and the wrists, or the wrists of the feet, the ankles, and just starting to circle them as if you had never had feet before. What does it feel like to have feet? How can you find appreciation for all of the little complexities of your feet? The little arches and the balls and the points. See how you can point and flex your feet in the slowest, most mindful way ever. Really feeling the entire articulation from toe to ball to arch to heel, and from heel to arch to ball to toe. Really just awakening through the feet. Seeing if you can turn on your breath and just shoot rainbow beams out of every pore of your body as you activate completely all of these little parts. Maybe you find a new part of your foot that you had no idea even existed, and then you try to find some activation in that part of your foot. Taking a few more foot circles, maybe your ankles are starting to feel warm. That's awesome if they are. Really just getting out any creakiness so we can have those little jelly bodies like the kids do. And now allowing that circling to start to come into your knees as you start to get into the hips and just find the range of motion in the hips. Moving them in one direction And then in the other direction. And then hugging the knees together, giving yourself a hug. Reminding ourselves of that pink moon, that beautiful pink moon. That perfection of nature, and that we are a part of that perfection of nature. And then we're going to start to warm up our cores by inhaling and expanding our feet and our hands up towards the sky. Yep. Exhale, give yourself a hug. Inhale, expand up towards the sky. Exhale, hug. Inhale, expand up towards the sky. The shoulders and the legs are reaching. Exhale, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. On our exhale, we'll take our right knee in towards our right shoulder. And we'll just extend through the left leg. And now bring the left leg up towards the sky, crunch in. And exhale, drop that leg down. Inhale, bring the leg up towards the sky, crunch in. Exhale, drop it down. 2 more, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Hug that right knee into the right shoulder, and then take some nice hip circles on the right side. So circling it out to the right. Think if you could turn on your breath. And then grabbing the knee with the left hand, keeping the right shoulder on the mat, and twisting the right knee over to the left. Finding a really long spine on your inhale. And then your exhale will draw circles with the arm as if we were closing a book. Our right arm goes over to the left side, and then we're opening a book. And we're closing a book. And we're opening a book. And just really warming up into that upper back. Feeling the rotation of the spine. And turning on your breath. And then making your way back onto your back, hugging both knees back into your chest, finding that little circle, that pink moon. And then this time, as we inhale, we'll take our arms and our feet up, and then see how much you can keep your belly button down as you extend your legs away from you. So you can go as far as you can go without the lower back arching. So when this starts to happen, that's when you stop. And then we'll do 5 repetitions. So the most important part is that your full back is compressed down onto your mat. Inhale, extend as far as you can. So finding our hollow body position. Exhale, little pink moon. Inhale, extend. Exhale, finding that pink moon, that circular shape. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. And then keeping the left knee in towards you. Right leg comes up towards the sky. Exhale, drop the right leg down. And then inhale, bring the right leg up, tuck. And exhale, drop the right leg down. Inhale, come up, left knee to nose, tuck yourself in. Exhale, dropping it down. Inhale, lifting it up. Exhale, dropping it down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down, last one. Inhaling up. Exhaling it all the way down. Starting to make some circles with the left hip out towards the left. Really giving a lot of love to that hip joint. Finding your gratitude for your hip. Writing in a little thank you letter. for being the most mobile joint, one of the most mobile joints in the human body. And then taking the left knee in your right hand and then twisting the left knee over to the right side. Taking a big breath here, feeling your length and your width. And then opening and closing the book. So big arm circles, closing the book and then opening the book. And close the book and open. And then coming all the way back to center. Checking back in with that core, tucking yourself into that little ball, like that little pink moon. Feeling the belly button pull in towards the spine, pushing the entire lower back into the mat. And then inhale and expand. Exhale and contract. Inhale and expand. Exhale and contract. Inhale and expand, and exhale and contract. Beautiful. Inhale, reaching your hands up towards the sky above you, and then exhale, making a little sand angel or snow angel or whatever kind of angel as you bring your hands down by your sides. And then pushing the hands down into the mat. We'll play with our legs, so we're just going to do some booty lifts. So just activating our deep core here, lifting the hips up, pushing the hands down, and then rolling it back down. Exhale, tuck and lift. Inhale, slowly bringing it back down. Exhale, tuck and lift. Inhale, slowly coming back down. Exhale, tuck and lift. This time holding it here. Squeeze the legs together and come up into your shoulder stand. You can support your lower back here. Breathe, hug the inner thighs together. So right here, we're starting to find our handstand alignment. See if you can look at your belly button, pull your belly button in towards your spine. Try to push your pubic bone forward, hug the inner thighs together, and straighten out through the hips. Feel this like really straight, solid shape. Breathe into it, shoot rainbows out of your toes. And then we can start to bring in that little gratitude movement that we started in the beginning of class. See how you can create those three shapes. So we had a moon. So see if your legs can create that moon shape. Then we had the falling over pillow fight legs. So we got them to one side. And then we had the nice running, walking for 24 miles. So those three things that we're grateful for, just allowing your legs to kind of move through those movements of gratitude, reminding yourself of how blessed you are, whether or not you're doing a handstand. Either way, it's super blessed. Going through that one more time. Maybe you do the other side if it was asymmetrical. And then bringing the feet over the head into a plow pose, stretching through the hamstrings. And slowly rolling ourselves all the way down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grabbing onto the knees, and then we'll roll ourselves all the way forward. Coming into a seated position. So I'll face towards you guys. Starting with some shoulder rotator cuff opening. So we'll grab on, thumbs facing down. Imagine you're grabbing onto a door handle and then twisting the door handle open. And now grab the door handle and now twist it open. And so we're finding this external rotation in our entire range. So slowly bringing the hands all the way up until we're in our handstand position and our shoulders are completely screwed in. We have that external rotation And then we take our hands up onto the ceiling like we're doing a handstand on the ceiling. And now slowly bringing them all the way down. Interlacing behind the back, taking a big inhale, lifting the heart forward. And then exhaling over, folding and breathing. Inhale, slowly coming all the way up, opening through the chest. And then exhaling, releasing the hands by the sides once again. Then we'll do the same thing, so we'll grab thumbs face down, twisting open, thumbs face down, twisting open, thumbs face down, twist, thumbs face down, twist, and then all the way down, twisting, finding that external rotation so the thumbs are reaching back. This is our arm handstand alignment. And now see if you can tuck your ribs down. So the front ribs pull down towards the hip points. And then we're gonna try to reach our thumbs back behind us. So we're just gonna work into our middle traps, reaching the thumbs, pointing them back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring the hands down, interlacing once again, inhaling to lift the heart up towards the sky, and then exhaling to fold forward. Inhaling, reaching the hands up towards the sky, reaching them all the way up, and then we'll go through our eagle dance. So the right elbow will bend, so that I'm touching my left shoulder with my right elbow. Then my left hand will push onto my right elbow. Breathing here, stretching. You can side bend over to the left to really start to get into those lats. Maybe even taking some circles here to just start to open in to the thoracic spine and into the shoulders. Those jelly bodies, like little kids. And then we're gonna sneak our right hand through our left elbow crease so that it sneaks out and then shoots up, and we can take a little bit deeper of a side bend towards the left. Now we'll bring our head through the hole so the arms go forward in front of us. And then we can tuck our right hand underneath our left elbow and reach forward, coming into this really nice shoulder stretch, getting into the outer deltoid. Breathing here. And then this right arm will stay under the left arm, will come into our eagle arms. Breathing here, expanding through the upper back, and on our exhale we'll round inwards, bowing forward. Inhale, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. So it's like a little cat and cow, exhaling to round. And inhale to reach up. Exhale to round. Inhale to reach up. And then exhale, slowly release. Inhale, reach the hands back up. And then exhale, left elbow bends, touching onto the right shoulder, side bending over to the right. You can start to make those circles, just starting to get into that upper back and shoulder area. Seeing if you can turn on your breath. And then reaching this left arm through the hole in our right elbow and stretching over to the right. Breathing here into our left side body. And then bringing both hands in front of us as we tuck our head through the hole. And then this left hand will sneak through the right elbow crease and we'll come into our nice shoulder stretch. Breathing here. Now this left elbow is going to come under or on top of the right elbow, and we'll find our eagle arms. Garudasana, inhaling to lift, and exhaling to round. Inhale to lift, and exhale to round. Inhale to lift, and exhale to round. Inhale, releasing those arms all the way back up towards the sky. And then exhale, walking your hands forward as we come into our tabletop position. Starting our wrist push-ups here. So first lifting up the palm of the hand, stretching all the fingers, and then placing the palm of the hand down, lifting up onto the fingertips so that the entire hand comes off, and then down. So you can put as much weight as you want. See if you can find your edge here. So really letting this be quite strengthy. We're strengthening our wrists at the same time as we're stretching them. Awesome. Finishing up your last rounds of that, and then bringing your elbows down so that you have two parallel lines at the arms. So this is our perfect external rotation. We're going to keep this as we lift our hips up into a dolphin. Breathing here, stretching into the shoulders. You can take some circles with your neck, say yes and no. And then we'll just round and arch through the upper spine. So just coming into some cat and cows here, warming into the shoulders. If it's too much, you can bring your knees down. But really just finding your edge here and finding gratitude for that edge. Next inhale, our knees will come down. We'll slide forward so our elbows lift, and we come forward into this little baby push-up with our knees down on the ground. And then our inhale will push us up, back to tabletop. We'll inhale to take a cow pose. Exhale, dropping the forearms back down onto the ground. So this is like our little vinyasa of the day. Inhale, lifting your hips up towards the sky. Exhaling here. Inhale, knees come down. Exhale forward into this baby push-up. Inhale, straightening the arms, arching into our cow pose. Exhale, dropping the forearms down. Lifting the hips up. Inhaling here. Exhaling, dropping the knees down, coming forward onto the palms as you come into this baby push-up. And then pushing the arms straight, arching into our cow pose. Let's go through 3 more of those. So forearms come down, hips lift up. Taking an inhale to prepare. Exhale, knees come down, coming forward into the baby push-up. Inhaling, straight arms, arching cow back. Exhale, forearms down. Inhale, lifting the hips. Exhale, knees down, come forward, baby push-up. Inhale, cow pose. Last one, exhale, forearms down, inhale, hips lift. Exhale, knees down, slide forward, baby push-up. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, back, finding that forearm opening and just breathing here for 3 breaths. And now either one arm at a time or both arms. See if you can keep your external rotation as you push up into your downward facing dog. So really keeping that same alignment of the arms, just the elbows now lift up off the ground. So my eyes of my elbows are rolling forward, triceps back, and I'm here in my downward facing dog. Inhale, reaching the right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, opening it up, finding this scorpion tail, and then sliding it through so it's going to cross in front of my left foot, and I'm going to come down onto my side body. So I'm going to drop my hips down and take a little push up, inhaling to lift up, and exhaling, pulling back into my downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg's gonna lift up. Exhale, opening out, scorpion tail. Inhale, the left leg crosses in front of the right leg. Dropping the hips down, taking a little push up here. Getting into that side body. And then pushing all the way back up into your downward facing dog. Let's take two more of those. So inhale, the right leg reaches up. Exhale, opening it out. Inhale, right leg crosses in front of left leg. Right hip comes down. Do a little push-up. Inhale. You can do a little opening in the side body if you want to straighten your arms if it feels good. If it's too much, you don't have to. You can just lift right back up. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, open scorpion tail. Inhale, left leg crosses in front of right. Left hip comes down. Push up. Inhale, open. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Relaxing the head, the neck, the jaw. See if you can find one thing in your downward dog to be grateful for, one part about it. Maybe it's the way your shoulders feel, maybe it's the way your neck feels, maybe it's that it's challenging and you're grateful for that. And then exhale, walking ourselves all the way forward. Taking our time to get there. Big toes together, heels a sliver apart. And just take a forward fold. So just letting something go. You can make a little sound through your mouth. Shake out your head, relax your jaw. And just really let yourself be heavy here. Find a nice bend in the knees so there's no straining anywhere. Give yourself a little neck massage. And then the inhale, we'll take our hands onto our shins, lengthening the spine. And the exhale will roll us up one vertebrae at a time. So here we're already starting to turn on our handstand activation. Our legs are squeezing together as our belly pulls in towards our spine, and we're stacking each vertebrae up individually. So it's really nice and slow, super mindful. See if you can count your vertebrae as you stack them. The crown of the head comes up very last. We roll our shoulders up into our ears and then down into our back pockets as we shoot rainbows at our fingertips. Inhale, reaching the hands up to the sky. Exhale, cactusing open, baby back bend. Inhale, reaching the hands up and exhaling them back into our hearts. Taking a minute to dedicate our practice to someone who we think might need a little bit of extra love, someone that we're truly grateful for, allowing ourselves to show up for ourselves and for someone else. Moving through our chair pose, so just starting to really get this warmth in the legs, sinking down, finding chair on our inhale, and then we'll flow through that, really just feeling the roots of your feet dig into the earth, and then exhale, pull that earth energy all the way up into your core as you come up to stand up straight. Exhale, sinking down into the hips, finding that chair pose. Inhale, sucking from the roots of your feet all the way up into your belly as you come up into your really strong Tadasana. Feeling that root chakra, that right to be here, that right to live, and just allowing yourself to fully live this moment. Fully living here, experiencing the fullest range as you continue to go through this little vinyasa. Really tapping into those roots and that inner strength, that presence. Last time, sinking into your chair and then holding it. Seeing if you can notice something about this moment that you've never noticed before. Maybe it's something about your body, or maybe it's just something about how you feel. Or maybe it's something that you notice that you're really grateful for that you never noticed before. And now exhale, just let it go as you forward fold. Shaking out the head, relaxing the neck and the jaw. Inhale, long spine, halfway lift. And exhale, that same thing, rolling up, stacking the spine, finding your handstand shape, even here. So the legs activate, the pelvis tucks, the belly button pulls in towards the spine, the lower belly pulls in towards the spine, the ribs pull in towards the spine, and the very last thing to come up is the head. The shoulders roll back and down into their back pockets, shooting rainbows at our fingertips, feeling this right to be here, this right to live. Big toes together, tailbone reaches down. We're gonna go up into our upside down handstand. So the tailbone's gonna reach down, the belly button will pull in. So you can even take your hand onto your belly and your hand onto your spine, find the tuck. I bend my knees a little bit so I can really find the tuck, and then squeeze your legs together so the tuck stays, but you have these like straight laser beam legs. Now take your hands onto your ribs and take a big breath in. And then exhale and knit them together. We'll go through our upside down handstand. Arms reach up towards the sky, the same way we did in the beginning of class, finding that external rotation of the shoulders. And then on our inhale, we'll lift up onto our tippy toes, keeping that pelvic tilt, the belly button's pulling in towards the spine. Breathing here. Exhale, dropping the heels down, keeping that pelvis tilted the whole time so the glutes are super active. Exhale, taking the right hand onto the right hip, side bend over to the left, or the right. Inhale, coming back to center, straight back up into that upside down handstand, lifting up onto the tippy toes, squeezing the inner thighs together, finding this strength here, handstand on the ceiling. Tailbone reaches down, belly button pulls in, ribs drop down as if there was magnets reaching them towards your hip points. Exhale, the heels drop down and we side bend, left hand to left hip, right arm reaches over to the left. Inhale, reaching right back up into that upside down handstand. Inner thighs hug, tailbone drops down, belly pulls in, ribs drop down, handstand on the ceiling. This time, challenge your balance by slowly taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. And then opening the heart, cactusing open. Inhaling, reaching the hands back up. Exhale, taking a forward fold. Letting something go, shaking out the head and the neck, releasing the jaw. Inhale, flat back, long spine, opening up into those hamstrings a little bit more. And then exhale, finding that power in the legs, sucking that energy up from your roots in your feet through the legs, all the way up, tucking the pelvis, finding the energy come through the belly, energy comes through the ribs, all the way up into the upper back, as we find ourselves fully aligned. this right to be here, rolling the shoulders back, shooting rainbow beams at your fingertips. Breathing into your Tadasana. Inhale, finding our chair pose. Exhale, bringing the hands into the heart as we lift our right leg up with us. So we're here in our Stork. Exhale, we'll take our Stork leg over to the outside of our left side. So we come into this, I can show you sideways. We come into this like side bend IT band opener, breathing here. Then we will launch ourselves back through center, coming back into Stork. Exhale, reaching the right leg out towards the right side, and then squatting down here. Nice. Inhale, launching it back up, coming back into Stork. It's a really fun balance. Exhale, stepping it forward and bending down into a little bit of a lunge here. Inhaling it back, finding your balance, and then exhaling, stepping it back. Slowly finding your low lunge, inhaling, reaching the hands up towards the sky. And then exhale, we're gonna take an active twist. So it's not about how far you go, it's about how much you're activating through the core. My right hand's gonna come forward, left arm's gonna twist back. Breathing here in this nice twisted lunge. Inhale, reaching the hands back up to center. Exhale, opening into our warrior two. So we have the external rotation of the front leg, the internal rotation of the back leg. Taking a minute to just find this really solid warrior stance. Belly buttons pulled in, low back is long. Yes. And then grab onto those door handles, twist them open as you find this external rotation in the shoulders, and then just softly, gracefully float the palms over. Inhale, Exalted Warrior, left hand reaches up. Exhale, side angle, left elbow comes onto the left knee, right arm reaches up overhead. We'll flow this 4 more times. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, side angle. Last time, inhale, reaching all the way up. Exhaling, side angle. Breathing here. Pushing the pubic bone forward. Taking that knee right over that ankle. And then inhale, pushing your way up into like a triangle position, turning both feet to face towards the same long side of your mat. And then keeping the hips right above the ankles, we'll take a wide-legged forward fold. So slowly, try not to send your butt backwards, because that's what usually happens. Keep them right above your ankles, and use the strength in your core to come down. So we're gonna come down really nice and slow for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands down onto the mat. Bend your knees and just fold in. Shake out your head, relax your neck and your jaw. And then you can just start to pulse into one knee and the other, just starting to get into those hips. See if you can find one part of your body that you had never noticed before that was working and really helping you to do this pose, and really finding some gratitude for that. And now on our exhale, we're gonna first find our hands. So find your really nice sunshine hands, pushing down so that your first finger is aligned with the outside edge of your mat. And then we'll place our weight into our hands, and we're just gonna do 5 little jumps, inwards and outwards. So jumping the feet together on the exhale, and then jumping them apart. So it's not a big jump, but we're really working that compression strength, which will help us get that press handstand. See how much you can round through the upper back. See if you can keep that external rotation of the arms. And then folding forward, relaxing your head and your neck and your jaw. Finding this really nice wide-legged forward fold. You can grab onto your ankles and pull yourself a little bit closer, getting into those hamstrings. And then planting our hands back down onto the floor. Our right knee is going to reach for our left elbow. And then come back. So right knee to left elbow. And come back. Right knee, left elbow, come back. And now this time the right knee is going to come to the left elbow and the butt's going to come to sit down as the left hand comes all the way up. There we go. So I'm here in this little seated position. Both of my hands are to the left side of my body. And then here I can just play with a little twist. So I'll just push my left hand into the left elbow, or sorry, my left hand into my right knee. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. From here, we'll just play with a little bit of balance just because we're in such an awesome place to play with balance. Taking your left hand down, you can lift up the hips and then try to pour the weight. You can do a little push-up. You don't have to lift up. If you want to practice the full arm balance, the easiest way I think is to get both elbows onto your hips. So your right elbow, you might have to push up a little bit more onto your feet to get your right elbow onto your right hip and your left elbow onto your left knee. And you can come into this little side crow. Or if that's not happening today, you can just go through some push-ups here. So just little push-ups and back. Either way, it's the same benefits, it's the same pose. Yes. Nice breathing. Looks awesome. And then slowly sitting your booty back down. Taking your hands onto your knees. Taking a little cat and cow here, opening through the upper back, and then exhaling to round. Inhaling to open, and exhaling to round. Inhaling, and exhaling. So now we're gonna do our favorite thing ever, L-sits, because they're the best. But I don't have blocks, so if you guys have blocks, and you want to use them for your hands, go ahead and grab some blocks because they'll help with this. I don't have blocks, so I'm just going to be grateful that I don't have blocks and just do it. Just do it without the blocks. So we're going to push down into our hands. Let's cross our right ankle over our left ankle. Push down into our hands and then just start to lift up here. See if you can hover the butt. Nice. Now we're going to take little steps all the way forward. And then all the way back. Ooh, and all the way back. See if you can get your butt back through the hands and then maybe hover for just 1 second. And now walk yourself back forward again. Yes, this is very hard and awesome. Maybe you lift the hips a little bit as they come forward, stretching through the shoulders. And then we're gonna walk tippy-toeing, feeling that deep core activation as we walk all the way back, maybe finding a moment of float. And then walking back forward again. Last time. Lifting the hips up, expanding through the chest. And then exhaling, dropping the hips. Taking our little steppities all the way back, seeing if we can hug our butt through our arm bones, and then sitting all the way down. Bring our hands in front of our crossed legs, bringing both knees together into like a hero position. And then taking a minute to bring our hands back so they're aligned over our knees. We'll do our little tuck handstand prep. So thumbs are like right at the top of your knees. Hands are in this really nice external rotation, shoulder width apart, pushing through the L of our hand. Then we find our external rotation of our arm bones, so that the biceps are pushing forward, the triceps are pushing back. Then we're gonna push down through our legs and come up. You can tuck your toes under if it hurts your toes, or you can let it be this really nice point stretch. It's totally up to you. And then dropping it down. Inhale, you can arch. Exhale, finding that round, pushing down. And inhale, coming down. Exhale. And this time, pushing your way all the way back into your downward dog. Meeting here in our downward dog, seeing if we can find a new aspect of this pose, a new thing to be grateful for here. Whether it's the stretch of the hamstrings, the opening of the shoulder, the opportunity to find that external rotation. Maybe pulling the ribs in and really finding the core activation here. Then we're gonna come down to the forearms and go through that little vinyasa that we practiced. So we're inhaling here in our dolphin. Exhale, knees come down. We come forward into this push-up. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, back into your forearm downward dog. Inhaling here. Exhale, knees come down. We come forward into our push-up. Inhale, arching the back. Exhale, back into your forearm downward dog. Last one. Inhale, knees come down. Or sorry, inhale to prepare. Exhale, knees come down. Push up. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, back, forearm dog. Pushing through the shoulders here, relaxing the head and the neck and the jaw. And then slowly straightening the arms up. And we'll play with a few little hops here. So you can just, to get forward, we'll just hop. Our right leg is gonna come out to the side, like we're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. So you can just hop it, and then we'll hop the other leg. And we're just gonna hop until you just can't hop anymore. And then you can walk your feet the last little minute up into your hands. Give yourself a nice forward fold, shake out your head, relax your neck and your jaw. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, really nice and slowly, turning on through the legs, turning on through the core, seeing if you can stack each vertebrae individually, really nice and slowly. Finding this complete awareness of our body. Each little part of our body gets recognized. Rolling our shoulders up into our ears, shooting rainbow beams at our fingertips, finding our Tadasana. Inhaling back up into that upside down handstand. So pushing into the toes, lengthening up towards the sky. Exhale, side bending to the right. Inhale brings us right back up to that upside down handstand. Exhale, dropping the heels, side bending over to the left. Inhale, right back up, upside down handstand. Exhale, cactusing the arms, back bend. Inhale, hands reach right back up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose, sinking into your chair pose. Hips drop down, belly pulls in, ribs pull in. Feeling the feet root down into the earth. And then exhale, hands come into the heart as the left leg lifts. Inhale, left leg crosses over to the right side of the body. So we come into this IT band stretch, breathing here, feeling that outer right hip. And then inhale, coming back to center, balancing into that stork position. Exhale, taking the stork leg out to the left, coming into our skandasana. Inhale, balancing yourself back to center, really awesome balance challenge. Exhale, stepping it forward, coming into a little baby lunge here. Inhaling it back to center. And then exhale, extending that left leg back behind you. Coming back, back, back. And slowly coming in to your high lunge. Feet are hip width apart. Inner thighs are squeezing together. Back heel is lifted. Belly button pulls in. Arms reach up towards the sky. Being thankful for this moment that we have together. And then exhale and open out to the right side. So the right arm goes back, left arm goes forward. Active twist. See if you can pull your abdominals in towards your spine. Your entire core cinches together. And rainbow beams are always shooting out of our fingertips. Inhale, both hands reach up towards the sky. Exhale, open warrior two. So the back heel comes down, front knee is a square. Take a minute to find this alignment. Really, really sinking into those hips, finding that nice long lower back, and then grabbing onto those door handles, twisting the doors open, finding that external rotation in the shoulders, and then gracefully floating the hands back. Gaze is over that front middle finger. What does it feel like to be a warrior? Inhale, we're gonna flow for 5 times through our Exalted Warrior on the inhale. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, Exalted Warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, Exalted Warrior. Exhale, side angle. 2 more. Last one. Holding here, finding this side angle position, pushing your pubic bone forward, activating your glutes, finding this long stretch in the side of your body. And then inhaling up into your triangle prep, and exhale, taking both feet to face out towards the left. Inhaling here to reach up, exhaling, wide leg forward fold. See if you can keep your hips from moving backwards. Try to keep them right stacked over the ankles, and come down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, grabbing onto those ankles and giving yourself a nice stretch here. Maybe you grab onto the outside edges of your knees, and then you can rock from side to side. Bring the hands down onto the floor. And we'll go through those same hops. So we're gonna do 5 hops in and out. First, finding your hand alignment, because that's the most important part. That's what's going to bear our weight. Making sure we're pushing down through the first finger, knuckle, and the thumb. We've got our external rotation of our shoulders. Then we're going to hop the feet together and apart. And together and apart. 3 more. Together and apart. Last one. And then taking another forward fold. See if you can get a little bit deeper into the hamstrings. Give yourself a little neck massage. Placing the hands down onto the mat. This time the left knee is going to reach towards the right elbow. So that our left knee is going to cross in and try to find those like mountain climbers where you cross the knee. And let's take 3 more. And now we're going to replace our right hand with our left hip and come to seated. Yes, perfect. Now we're in this twist. Our right elbow is outside of our left knee. Take a minute to just twist in here. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and twist. One more big breath. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. So now same options here. You can either take those push-ups here, just like working on getting that bent arm strength, or you can push yourself up onto your feet and bring your right elbow onto the outside of your left knee and your left elbow onto the outside of your left hip. Lean forward and come into your side crow. Play with whatever leg variations you played with on the other side. See if you can stay for 3 to 5 breaths in some place. Maybe it's just a bent arm hold. And then slowly coming down, taking both hands onto the fronts of the knees, inhaling to arch the back, and exhaling to round. Inhale, arching. Exhale, rounding. Last one, inhale to arch. Exhale to round. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So right ankle comes in front of the left ankle. Hands come by the sides. We're going to work. If you have your blocks, go ahead and use them. If you don't have your blocks, yes. And then we'll push down and lift up. See if you can hover even just like a millimeter off the floor, and then start to walk the toes forward. You can even lift the hips all the way up, stretching into the shoulders, and then exhale, dropping them down. Taking these little deep core tippy-toe walks, and seeing if you can sneak the butt in between the legs and maybe hover for just a second. And then walking. Back out into your bridge or reverse tabletop position. And then exhaling back. Little walks. Hovering. And then walking. Lifting the hips. Last one. Coming through. Tuck, tuck. And hover. And relax. That's hard. Walking the hands forward and then rolling over your knees so that you're in a hero position. Taking a minute to find your hero position. Maybe moving through the wrists a little bit. Bringing the hands down onto the ground so that the thumbs are right in front of your knees. Then we'll play with those tuck-ups. So the options to tuck the toes under or keep the toes pointed is up to you. We'll go through 5 tuck-ups. So finding the external rotation of the shoulders, pushing down through the L of the hand, and then tucking the hips up. Untucking the toes and coming back into your downward dog. Breathing here into your downward dog, finding maybe one new thing about it. Maybe it's your hips, maybe it's your shoulders, Can you find like a new alignment tool to activate here? Maybe you're really in your hands. And then exhale, coming down onto your forearms. Finding your dolphin dog. Really nice opening in the shoulders. Inhaling to prepare. And then exhaling, coming down with the knees. Rolling forward into this baby push-up. And then pushing all the way up, opening into your cow pose. Exhaling back, forearms come down. Booty lifts, taking an inhale here. Exhale, coming forward, knees come down. Rolling forward into that push-up. Inhale, coming up into your cow pose. Exhaling, forearms down, hips lift. Inhaling to prepare. Exhale, knees down, rolling forward. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Breathing into this downward facing dog. And now this time we'll take the same thing. So we'll take those outer leg hops. Just as much as you can, really working that outer leg lifting, seeing if you can get your hips up at all. Yes. All the way. And then you can scoot your feet for the last little moment, all the way in between your hands to take your forward fold. And now inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and roll up one vertebrae at a time. See how much you can re-engage, even though we've been here before. We've been here before, but you can really re-engage, maybe finding a new little aspect of this roll up. New thing to be grateful for. Rolling the shoulders up and towards your ears. Spreading the hands wide. And then inhaling straight up into our upside down handstand. So reaching the hands up towards the sky. And then exhaling, dropping the heels down, side bending to the right. Inhaling, hands come right back up. And exhaling, side bending to the left. Inhaling, hands come right back up. Exhaling, cactus the arms. Inhaling, reaching right back up. Exhaling, taking your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, the right knee is going to come up as we come into our stork pose. Exhale, right leg crosses outside left leg. Side bending, maybe even you reach your left arm over to the right side to find this full half moon shape in the body. Inhale, this time we're going to twist. So I'm going to start to look towards my left side. Left side, I keep going, following like I'm looking over my left shoulder all the way so I'm facing the back. And then I'm going to keep turning, pivot on my left foot so I'm facing towards the front again so I'm in the opposite position. My feet never moved. Side bending over towards the left. Inhale, taking this right leg and coming right back up into our stork position. Exhale, the right leg is going to come out into Skandasana as we sink down into our outer hip. Inhaling it, bouncing all the way back up. Exhaling, reaching the leg forward, finding this extended leg stork, feeling your strength here. And then exhaling, sinking it down, finding that lunge. Inhaling it right back to center, playing with your balance. And then exhale, spreading it back behind you, finding this warrior 3 position. And then exhale, dropping that right foot down. Inhale, reaching up. Finding this Anjaneyasana. Exhale, opening into a twist, an active twist to the left. Breathing here. Inhaling back through center. And exhaling to open into your warrior 2. Belly button in towards the spine. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, side angle. This time we're going to start to sink a little deeper into our side angle. So start to reach this right leg or this left hand inside this left leg. And then pulling back into our Skandasana. Opening into that outer hip. And we can flow back and forth 5 times. So just getting into that inner thigh. And then walking our hands forward, turning both feet, walking the hands towards the middle of our legs, turning both feet to face towards the long side of the mat. Wide-legged forward fold. Sinking in as deep as you'd like. You can grab onto your ankles once again and just find this really nice hamstring stretch. On the inhale, we'll lift, lengthen. And now we're gonna start to add on to that little puppy press work. So instead of hopping them together, we're gonna push into our arms and see if we can lift our right knee towards our right elbow, and then towards the left elbow and coming here. So we're sliding through. This is like a break dancing move. I think you guys have done this with me before. And then we'll come back. Exactly. So you can reach through and come back. And reach through and come back. 2 more. Okay, nice. And then coming back in to that wide-legged forward fold, we're gonna add on a hop into handstands. So you can go hop, down, and then through. And you can also just go hop and through. So we'll do 3 more of those. Hop, whichever variation you like. Maybe finding a minute of float. Last one. And then you can just roll right back up into your shoulder stand, going through your 3 grateful things with your legs. So finding those movements. And then slowly compressing ourselves all the way down through our plow. Belly engages as we come down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grabbing onto the knees, working yourself all the way up. Opening up through the chest, inhaling. Exhaling to just rinse it out. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Then we'll take our hands by our sides, bridge position. So lifting the hips up, opening up bridge. Seeing if you can pull the belly button in and reach the glutes up. So the pubic bone up, belly button down. And then exhale, we'll pull our hips through as much as we can. So the heels can stay down, hips lift, inhaling up. Exhale, pulling the hips through. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, pulling the hips through, and then maybe crossing them and walking yourself forward into your hero pose. From here, finding the hands that the thumbs are right by the knees. Taking a big breath in. And then exhale, we'll go through 5 of those lifts. Option for this time, you can start to launch. So you can use the push of the legs to start to launch the hips into a tuck handstand. So tucking and down, and tucking and down. If you don't get it that high, that's fine. You're still working your agility and your strength. So just letting yourself play with that for 5 times. Nice. Yes. 3 and 4 and 5. Yes. So awesome. Now walking back into your downward facing dog. Forearms come down. Breathing here. Taking an inhale to prepare. Exhale, coming onto your knees, rolling forward onto your little push-up, and then inhaling into your cow pose. Exhaling back into your forearm dog. Inhaling to prepare. Exhale, knees, baby push-up, cow pose. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, and inhale. Exhale, pressing back into your downward facing dog. And then this time we're going to try some wide-legged hops with both feet forward. So bending into the knees and then taking the legs out wide. So it might give you a little bit more launch. Try to just keep that pelvic tilt, yeah. And a thing that really helps is if you try to keep the straight line from the wrist over to the hip, try not to buckle at the shoulders. The shoulders will block you. So if you keep this straight line, you'll get your hips up higher. So my shoulders never bend, my shoulders stay straight the entire time, so I can work on getting my hips a little bit more over. Yeah? Nice! Nice open shoulders, that looks really good. And then jumping and seeing if you can lower your feet down in between your hands. That was the first time I was ever able to float, was trying this. Yes, that was clean. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, give yourself a hug, fold forward. Take one last halfway lift. And then this one, roll up one vertebrae at a time, really nice and slow. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Straight back up into your upside down handstand. So pushing through the big toes, inhaling the hands up towards the sky. And then exhale, right hand to the right hip, left hand side bends over. Inhale, coming right back up through center. Exhaling to side bend to the left. Inhaling right back up through center. Exhale, open heart, back bend. Inhaling, reaching the hands up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, chair pose. Taking an exhale here. And then inhaling, the left leg lifts up as we come up into our stork. Exhaling, the left leg comes over towards the right side of the body. This time the right arm can go over towards the left side as you find this full half moon shape in the body. Now I'm going to look over my right shoulder as I start to turn to the right, pivoting my feet so I'm facing backwards, and then pivoting my feet again so that I'm crossed with my right leg over and my left leg behind. Taking a side bend over towards the right, finding that half moon shape on the other side, and then coming to balance on our right leg with our left leg in stork once again. Exhale, kicking it forward, finding that straight leg stork, activating through the knee, pulling energy up from the ground up into your belly, and then exhale, finding that little lunge here, and inhaling to pull it all the way back. Exhale, kicking it back, finding this warrior 3 position. Dropping the left leg back and down. Inhale, reaching the hands up towards the sky. Exhaling to twist. Open twist. Inhaling, both hands come all the way up. Exhale, warrior 2. Breathing here. Finding your warrior. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, side angle. Breathing here. And then sinking this right hand inside the right foot, coming into a little bit deeper of a side angle, really getting into that outer hip, and then pulling back into your Skandasana for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming into your wide-legged forward fold, both toes are facing towards the left. Hanging out, stretching into the head and the neck and the jaw. Maybe grabbing onto the outer legs and pulling yourself a little bit closer in. Alrighty, now planting the hands once again. This time we're gonna take the left knee to the left elbow, then taking it through to come through, grabbing onto your left foot. Yes. And then coming back into your wide-legged forward fold and through once again. And back. 3 more. Wide-legged forward fold. This time we'll add on the hops. So we've got 5 times to practice either hopping, landing, and going through that. So a little hop, a land, and a through. Or you can just take out the land and just go hop and through. So trying that. Yep, hop and through. And hop and through. If you find a little balance, that's awesome. Play with it. Hop and through. Yes. And last time, hop and through and roll back. Finding our shoulder stand, this really nice, gentle inversion. And finding those 3 grateful things to bring into our legs. So making a shape of your 3 grateful things. Maybe like developing what you've been doing into like a little bit of a different kind of leg play. Finding our plow pose, taking a big breath in. And then exhaling to roll down one vertebrae at a time, really nice and slowly. Grabbing onto the knees and rocking ourselves all the way back up into our seat. Good job, you guys. This is a lot. Inhale, opening up through the chest. And exhale around. Inhale, opening up through the chest. And exhaling to round. Last time. And exhale. Inhale, taking the hands by the hips. You can turn them out to the sides. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, pulling them through. If you want, this time you can practice trying to lift one, the other, and maybe both. Inhale, lifting into your reverse tabletop. Exhale back, lifting one, the other, and both. And then last time, inhale, big breath. Exhale, pull through, I'll sit. One, the other, and both. And then crossing the ankles and coming forward, finding your hero position. Taking a little minute to release the wrists, sprinkling that gratitude for the wrists all over your room, wherever you are. Getting them all ready to do these 5 little handstand hops. So thumbs come right outside your knees. And we'll practice either just the tuck-ups, or if you want to use the tuck-up to practice that agility to launch up into your handstand, go ahead and tuck for 5, and 4, and 3. See how straight you can get through your shoulders. Try not to block yourself with your shoulders. Shoulders open, 2. And last one, landing in your downward dog. Finding your downward dog. Breathing here. And then forearms will come down. Taking a big breath in, stretch through those shoulders. Exhale, knees, a little push up, and then your cow pose. Coming back, forearms, inhale, exhale, knees come down through your push up, inhale, cow pose, exhale, forearms, inhale, exhale, knees come down, pushing yourself up, and your cow pose. Exhale, just walking forward into your puppy dog position, and just take a rest here. Opening up through the shoulders a little bit more. And then walking the hands back in, coming back into our last downward dog of this flow. Hips lift. And then we're gonna take those wide-legged hops for 5. So bending through the knees, straightening the shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, see if you can land your feet in between your hands. So we'll go wide and really slowly land. Slowly as we can, nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, just give yourself a hug because you did such a good job and that was really hard. Massage onto your traps. Give yourself this little neck massage. Inhaling to halfway lift. And exhaling to roll all the way up. Okay, so now we will do a little bit of press handstand practice, the puppy press at a wall. So come over to a wall, make sure you have your mat, and we'll start with a headstand variation. So first we want to set up our tripod, so interlacing all of your fingers and then letting the pinky like relax inward so it's not squished. We're gonna want a tripod, so like a really nice triangle shape so that the hands are at the back of the head. You don't want to be on your forehead, you want to make sure you're resting right on this soft spot. So interlacing the hands, the pinkies in, the top of the head comes onto the ground, lift the hips up, walk them in as much as you can, push through your arms and make sure that you've got strength here. You can push your shoulders off. This is an excellent exercise. If this is what you want to work on, this is a great place to work and will get you really far. But then just making sure that you can find this neutral position where you're not just collapsing into your neck. You want this nice strong base of support. Then walking your feet in, taking one knee out, so I'm like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant, and it stacks my hip, and then I push the other leg out. And then you can come down with that same direction and go up on the other side. So you can take that knee out, that knee out, and the wall is always here for you if you need it. But just remember to keep pushing through the top of the triangle and the two sides of the triangle. So you're never just like scrunching your neck. This should not hurt your neck. You can also do this with a chair or a block. So I've got a chair and I've got a block. So you can choose how high you need your hips to lift. With the block, you can just take your feet onto the block, and that gives your hips a little bit of lift, and then you can get out a little bit more. And then the chair can really help with especially the handstand press. So this is probably a little high for my headstand, but it might help some people. So you can take the chair, here you are, and then my hips are already there. So I can work on getting that little float. The chair comes in really handy for the handstand press. So for the handstand press, I'm going to take my hand to the wall and then walk it back about a finger distance, one little finger distance, making sure that my hands are shoulder width. I'm pushing through the L part of my hand to protect my wrist, and then I'll roll my back into the wall, lifting my hips up onto this chair. Then I can lift my outer hip and my outer hip. Then you can even push yourself up off of the wall and practice balancing your handstand. So then you can just come back down, back onto your chair, and work the other side. And coming back down, making sure your chair is stable and working that. Going through 2 to 3 of those on each side so that you're even. Working your hips. And if you don't make it today, don't worry about it. It's just like a fun thing to play with, and you will get it eventually. So when you're done with that, we can move back onto our mats for a cool down. Taking a big breath in and just letting all that go. All of that, noticing any little moments where you found some balance. Finding gratitude for those little moments of balance. Those little victories. And then place your feet down on the floor. On your exhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time into this really nice bridge position. Lifting, lifting, lifting. Bringing the hands to interlace underneath the hips. Walking the forearms towards one another. And then we'll take both hands over to the right side of our hips, and we'll lower down so that our hips compress our left arm. So it's like a forearm squish. And you can like rock through the legs You can rock them both directions if it feels good. And just kind of massage. You can even ungrip the hands and just massage into that left wrist. Letting the inhale bring you back up. Interlacing the hands once again, walking those shoulders together, lifting the hips as high as you can, and then taking both hands over to the left and rolling down onto that right forearm. And you can rock the hips from side to side, just squishing into that forearm. Releasing any tension there. Slowly coming off of that wrist, lifting the hips up. And we'll take 10 little pulses to just really open up through those hips. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can hold yourself up. And then option to either stay here and breathe for 5 breaths, or if you want to work on your full back bend, you can take your hands under your shoulders, press up to the crown of your head, and then straighten through your shoulders and breathe here for 5 breaths. Slowly coming all the way down, rolling yourself back onto your mat. Taking a big breath in here. And then taking both feet up towards the sky, hugging the inner thighs towards one another. And take both feet over towards your left hand, finding this really nice twist in the spine. You can even grab your left hand on the outside of your right leg and deepen yourself into this twist. Inhale, slowly coming back through the center and exhaling over to the left. Inhaling, coming back to center. Exhale, we'll take the right ankle onto the left knee, and then we'll bend the left knee in, coming to our figure 4 stretch. Getting into the outer edge of that right hip. Sinking back into that state of gratitude for our bodies. Thanking them for all that they've done for us over this practice. And then we can reach both legs up towards the sky. Taking the left ankle on the outside of the right knee, finding that figure 4 stretch. Breathing into the outer left hip. Slowly releasing. And then going through those 3 little gratitude movements once more before we relax into our Shavasana. So making our big full moon, playing with the pillows with Adam as we rock from side to side. And then having that really nice little stroll with Brennan. And then taking any last little moves that you need in your body. Anything else that your body is asking you for. Just giving yourself what you need. And then making your way into your final Shavasana, spreading the legs out onto your mat. You can find a little shimmy in the hips as you spread the lower back out. You can find a little shimmy in the feet as you release any tension in the toes and the ankles and the knees. You can lift your upper back up off the mat, pull the shoulders into their pockets, and then spread your upper back onto the mat, opening and closing the hands to release any residue in the wrists. You can twist your head from side to side and just release any tension in the neck. And then take a really big, grateful breath into your body. Filling your body up with gratitude. And then opening your mouth to just exhale and let everything go. As you soften from that place of gratitude. Dedicating this relaxation to that person that we dedicated this practice to. So we're not only allowing ourselves to rejuvenate, to relax for us, but this is also a service to others. Because the more we can show up for ourselves, the more we can show up for everyone else. So just finding that gratitude for this opportunity to really show up for you, to really just let go, to be held, to be soft, to be peaceful and open and receive all of the benefits of this practice. Letting the feet melt into the earth below you. Letting the legs get heavy and soft. Breathing a breath into our belly as our lower back softened to the ground. Finding that beating heart, that rhythm of being human. Breathing a breath into that heart, that same beating heart that unites us with every other beating heart. Feeling that connection that we have with each other always. And letting that gratitude for that connection radiate out through the arms, softening the fingertips. Radiating that gratitude from the heart up through the neck, into the jaw, letting the jaw soften. Letting the cheeks and the tongue and the eyes soften. Breathing that gratitude into the base of the skull. Relaxing your entire scalp. And then softening all the way, deepening through the layers of the skull, through the tissue of the brain. And softening all the way into the very center of your awareness. Finding that awareness of your own awareness. And that gratitude for the ability to be conscious, to choose, to make conscious action, to slow down and be grateful. And then slowly coming back into that breath, breathing into our lungs once again. Finding that life force energy, that air entering through our lungs, deepening the breath. Sharing a really deep cleansing breath here to awaken the body. Inhaling all the way from the bottom of the lungs to the top of the lungs. Filling the lungs completely and then taking in an extra sip of air at the top. Lengthening through your spine, lengthening out through your limbs, taking in another sip of air. And taking in one more even little sip of air, fully filling those lungs. And then open the mouth. Coming back into your body, into your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking a few little pats on your skin to just reawaken your body. Tap, 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 little raindrops on the legs, waking up through the knees and the shins and the feet. Just giving these little love taps to your entire body. And as you're ready, in your own way, making your way to a seat. Finding our spine tall, our sit bones on the ground. And then sharing 3 breaths and 1 Om to close our practice. So first taking our hands into our hearts. Feeling these hearts that connect with each other, and taking 1 big breath into our heart. our hands into our mind space and breathing a really big breath into our mind. And then spreading the hands out and around, reaching up, feeling our connection with nature, with something greater than ourselves, a higher power. And then exhaling, bringing the hands back through the space between the eyebrows and then all the way back into the heart, uniting mind, body, heart, and spirit. And then sharing one Om together to close our practice. That sound of this connection, taking a deep inhale. Bowing to each other and to ourselves for sharing this practice. Namaste.